Hey, what is happening, guys? What's going on YouTube? And thank you for tuning into Rules for Rebels. I really just had to make this video. This is beyond ridiculous. We're going to be talking about Shopify today, and I think this will be a good lesson to anybody who's thinking about launching a Shopify store, starting a business, just in terms of like what makes a successful business, what you don't do. I think this is an awesome example of what not to do. But this is just really taking stupidity to another level. In like entrepreneur circles, in the entrepreneur community, there are a lot of people who don't consider Shopify or even e-commerce in general as being a, quote, real business. Now, I don't really agree with that. I think e-commerce is a great business. I think it's a legitimate business. I don't see anything wrong or unprofessional with running a Shopify store. I'm an e-commerce. I do very well for myself. There's obviously people who do much, much better than me. But some of the stupidity you see with what I'm assuming is new entrepreneurs is just beyond the scope. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So like this actually comes from the Shopify subreddit. Now, at least once a day in the Shopify subreddit, I'll see somebody who's like, hey, can I sell Marvel or Star Wars or baseball jerseys, that I find on AliExpress? And most people are just naive, right? They're new to e-commerce. They don't really know any better. Somebody will comment and be like, hey, dude, that's like licensed stuff. Those people have a trademark. You can't use that stuff. Those AliExpress sellers don't have the legitimate rights or permissions to be selling that. Don't do it. You're going to get sued or it's going to cause trouble. And most of the people are like, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm new to this. I didn't realize that. I saw it listed. I thought I could buy it. My bad. I'll make sure not to do that. And occasionally you'll see somebody who's like, well, fuck it. I can probably get away with it for a while and make some money. And it's just like so short-sighted thinking. First off, not only can you get sued for doing something like that, these big corporations actually have attorneys on retainer who that's their job, is to look online and try to find people infringing on their trademark or their copyright. So not only may you get sued, but either Shopify may shut your store down, Stripe, aka Shopify Payments, will probably wind up shutting your store down, and you could potentially get blackballed from payment processing. So maybe down the road when you want to actually start a real business and a legitimate store, you're not even able to get a payment processor. So don't make those short-sighted decisions. But here's what I saw on Shopify today, and you guys are going to laugh at this. So, legal question concerning returns if product is defective. All right, so I found a winning product that sells really well. However, there are many negative reviews saying the product doesn't work, like 90% of people. So the vast majority of people say this product doesn't work. So I'm not sure where he gets it. This is a winning product. Am I legally required to refund customers' purchases if they say the product is defective? Or am I covered by my return policy in which I say refunds only accepted 10 days after payment, when it takes 12 to 20 days to arrive? Looking if somebody could help me out. I currently have winning Facebook ads up and don't know if I should scale or stop selling this product. So first off, like this isn't naivety. This is being a scumbag. So this guy wants to take a product which has a 90% defect rate. If I were selling you a bottle of water and I said, there's a 90% chance that this isn't safe drinking water, would you want to buy it? If I sold you a parachute and said there's a 90% chance this parachute won't open, would you want to buy? If I sold you anything and said there's a 90% chance this isn't going to work, would you want to? Absolutely not. So first off, he's knowingly selling something that's essentially a piece of shit. Then he knows that AliExpress products don't take at least 12 to 20 days to arrive. That's probably being optimistic. More than likely, it's probably 18 to 30 to maybe 45. So then he's hoping that, well, I say that my return policy is only good for 8 days. I know that the customer's not even going to have the product in 8 days, so nobody even has the ability to return it. And, I mean, this guy's like, right off the bat, it's kind of a scumbag, but somebody says, if you know it's massively defective, why the shit would you try to put that product into people's hands? And he actually responded. Somebody down here says, 90% is a lot. Are the products yours or are you selling it through a third-party supplier? If you're doing business via the latter, I'd contact the supplier to see what's going on in their end. As for refunds, I don't think that you can consider your refund policy valid if the window of opportunity for returns is before the customer actually receives their product. That's basically saying no refunds. Or you have to decide on whether you want a refund or not, despite the fact that it isn't in your hands yet. So I'd say that your refund policy doesn't really count or isn't fair for your customers. Either way, I'd give full refunds to those customers just because of the way you've set up your refund policy. Also, if I were you, I'd change the refund policy to say 10 days after arrival rather than payment, but you'd have tracking for this option. You could also say no refunds, although that'd probably kill your conversions. Closest I'd personally get to no refunds is we do not accept refunds. However, we will provide a free replacement. So this is the original poster. I am drop shipping this product from AliExpress. I agree with what you're saying, but since they are buying the product, then isn't it their responsibility to know the refund policy and shipping? Well, yeah, it's a customer's responsibility to know the refund policy. You are knowingly selling them a defunct product, and you're counting on them to know that you're selling them a shitty product, and essentially they're not going to get it. Basically, this guy's trying to fall back on technicalities to fuck over all his customers. Now, this is so stupid on so many fronts. So, first off, e-commerce businesses, the bread and butter of e-commerce businesses is returning customers. With my e-commerce business, we have 56% of our customers are returning customers. So that means more than half of the people who buy from me are not new customers. There's people who bought from me in the past and are coming back again. Now, why that's so powerful is if every single time you want to make a sale, you have to go find a new customer. If you're doing content marketing or social media, that's a ton of legwork on your end, and you're always having to bring in people new. If you're running paid ads, running paid traffic, doing some kind of PPC campaign, you're having to pay for every single sale. So if you're paying $1 per click and it takes you 20 clicks to get a customer to come and buy the product, you're spending $20 to make every sale. Whereas when you have returning customers, you can market to them free via email marketing. Sometimes they're just going to continue coming back to you on their own. And those are all free sales, which means better margins because you're not having to pay every sale. So if your business is built upon fucking this guy over and then bringing in another guy to fuck over, not only is word going to spread about your shitty business really quickly, not only are people going to write all types of like rip-off report things on you online, which is going to deter future people from buying from you, what's also going to happen is your return policy is not even enforceable. So what's going to wind up happening, a customer has the ability to do a credit card chargeback. So if I buy your product, you send me a defunct product, and then when I say, hey, I want to return this, you say, sorry, pal, return policy is only good for 8 days after purchase. I'm like, shit, I didn't get this thing for 20 days after purchase. How is that fair? Sorry, you should have read the refund policy. That's your duty as a customer. I would tell you, fuck you. I'd call up Chase. I'd tell him exactly what happened. Chase would do a chargeback. Chase is going to give me my money back. Even though your product is broken and I have no use for it, I still have your product. So now I have your product and I have your money. You're also going to be charged, I want to say it's like $37 in terms of a credit card chargeback fee. So Stripe is going to charge you $37. You're out the money for the product that you sent me. And if this happens enough times, and it's really not that many times, like if this happens more than a handful of times in a month, Stripe is going to cut off your credit card processing. They're going to shut down your processing. Moving forward, even if you decide later on down the road to set up a legitimate store, Stripe, both Stripe and Shopify payments, which in some ways are the same thing, neither of them are ever going to give you a merchant processing account again. So, maybe you can do PayPal, but if you go to get a real merchant processing account, they're going to say, hey, do you have any processing statements? Can you show us like processing you've done in the past? And you're going to be like, well, I processed in Stripe before. Okay, can we see your statements? You hand over the statements. Sir, it looks like you charged $10,000. It looks like you had $10,000 worth of charges put through, and you had 15 credit card chargebacks. $9,500 of that was charged back. Like, no, we're not going to give you a merchant processing account. And if somebody is going to give you a merchant processing account, they're probably going to do like a 20% rolling reserve for 6 months, and that's if you're even lucky enough to get processing. They're probably going to charge you anywhere from 5 to 15% when standard is about 2.9%. Doing this, like, not only is it wrong, not only are you screwing over your customers, not only is it unethical, but on top of that, it's extremely short-sighted. This isn't going to be a successful business, and even if you do somehow manage to make some money, it's all going to come to an end very quickly, and it's going to totally fuck you in anything you want to do down the road in the future. So yeah, this just absolutely blew my mind seeing this, and most of the posters seem to, well, horrible customer service. Are you leaving customers your terms? Yeah, I mean, most people tend to realize how ridiculous this is, but when you hear people like kind of down talking Shopify or e-commerce sellers and like saying it's not a real business and stuff, it's because people like this give Shopify and also give e-commerce a bad name. And it just kind of leaves a bad taste in their mouth. It's extremely unprofessional. I really couldn't believe this when I saw this. I'm like, I have to make a video and show you guys. So if you wonder why I'm not saying e-commerce is easy. I'm not saying running a Shopify store is easy. But when you see so many people failing, it's because so many people are just doing really, really stupid, short-sighted, ridiculous things. So you can make money. You do it by finding a good product, by marketing that product and setting up your store effectively and being a trustworthy store. And you do that by treating your customers right and getting them to come back, because every successful e-commerce store, for the most part, has a high number of returning customers. So now, granted, there are some products that people only buy one time, right? Like, if I buy an Xbox, I'm probably not going to buy another one for a couple of years. But with most e-commerce businesses, even if you're not selling the same product to somebody over and over, if people are happy with your service, they're going to come back and buy related products. And if you're counting on one-off customers constantly having to bring in new people, eventually you're going to run out of people, if you can even make it that far. Otherwise, it's just not going to be cost effective to run your business. So let me know what you guys think about this. What are your thoughts on this guy's store? What are your thoughts on his attitude towards his customers in e-commerce? Drop your comments in the comment section below. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button below. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to hit that 10,000 subscriber mark. And if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in to Rules for Rebels, and I will catch you guys on the next video.